This video is sponsored by Ground News. In June of 2020, a strange-looking aircraft covered in mirrors was spotted flying over the Mojave Desert. Reflecting light, the aircraft was accompanied by two more aircraft, and they were performing a long series of unknown tests. The mysterious vehicle was Scaled Composite's Model 401, a small jet-engined aircraft with composite materials and a 38-foot wingspan. From its very first flight in 2017, several experts have pondered the true reasons behind the development of such an unusual apparatus. But as it turned out, the unique vehicle was not designed from scratch and appears to be a direct descendant of one of the most innovative aerospace designs of the 1980s. If you've been subscribed to the Dark Tech channel for a while, you know how important it is for us to give you the most comprehensive and complete version of the stories we cover. That's why we use and love Ground News, an online platform that allows you to compare all different takes on news coverage with over 50,000 sources. A small startup making its way into big tech and mass media's complicated alliances, Ground News, led by a NASA engineer, offers a fresh new look into the motives behind every story. By looking up this story about the United States' latest hypersonic missile development on the platform, the ownership section, with its easy-to-understand graphs, helps us break down who's behind the news organizations covering the story, whether it's independent news, telecom, private equity, wealthy private owners, or government and media conglomerates. With Ground News, you can easily spot how the ownership of certain organizations can impact the veracity and even the credibility of a certain story. To get the most out of your media consumption without being influenced by mass media and their intentions, go to ground.news/darktech, click on the link in the description below, or download the Ground News app today. Mystery aircraft. American aerospace company Scaled Composites, based in Mojave, California, is known around the world for its unconventional designs and use of non-metal composite materials. Amongst Scaled Composites' illustrious list of creations is Spaceship One and the Stratolaunch megaplane, the aircraft that continues to hold the claim as the world's largest aircraft by wingspan since 2019. However, 2 years before, and amidst the fanfare behind the Stratolauncher, Scale quietly began production on another major experimental aircraft. Flown for the first time in October of 2017, the mysterious aircraft, designated Model 401 Sierra project, is still so secretive that details on the specifics of its purpose or background are scarce. According to a Scaled Composites press release, the model's development took only 24 months from the initial concept to the prototype's first flight in October of 2017. A short video on their website depicts the taking off and landing of a small single-engine jet with a single-seat cockpit under a bubble canopy and a wingspan of only 38 feet. The aircraft, made from composite materials, uses a single Pratt & Whitney Canada JT-15D 5D engine, producing 3,045 pounds of thrust and allowing the experimental aircraft to be aloft for up to 3 hours, fly up to 30,000 feet, and reach a speed of Mach 0.6. Still, most of the fine details are the subject of speculation, and no customer has yet been identified behind the creation of the project. According to Scaled Composites, the purpose of the aircraft is, quote, to demonstrate advanced, low-cost manufacturing techniques and to provide aircraft for research flight services to industry partners and the United States government. Sons of a legend. In April of 2018, a coincidental discovery led to more clarity regarding the 401 aircraft and also confirmed the existence of two model demonstrators. During an experimental aircraft fly-in at Mojave Air and Spaceport, aeronautics author Scott Lowe was inspecting a 30-year-old Scaled Composite aircraft named Ares when he was shocked by a small sticker glued on the plane. It was a World's Greatest Dad sticker, with the aircraft silhouette accompanied by two other outlines of a plane he recognized, the Model 401 demonstrator aircraft. A series of candid photographs taken at Mojave Air and Spaceport also seemed to confirm the rumors, as one of the people working on the jet wore a shirt with a large slogan that read Son of Ares on top and Phobos Deimos on the bottom, referencing the names of the god of war's sons, according to Greek mythology. Ares. Scaled Composites developed the Agile Responsive Effective Support, or ARES, in response to a U.S. Army request for a low-cost battlefield attack aircraft. A full-scale proof-of-concept demonstrator, the aircraft was designed to be capable of flying low-altitude anti-tank battlefield support with long endurance. Designed in the 1980s by Scaled Composites, the engineering team included legendary aircraft designer and the company founder, Burt Rutan. The aircraft first flew in the following decade and was a bizarre yet innovative vehicle, complete with twin tail booms, canard foreplanes, and sculpted, refined lines. It was essentially a flying machine gun, carrying a GAU-12 25mm cannon on one side and a semi-recessed air inlet on the other. What's more, its developers claimed that Ares could be rearranged to carry a wide variety of additional armaments, including rockets and guided munitions. Also, a Pratt & Whitney Canada JT-15D turbofan provided enough thrust to make the jet fly up to 460 miles per hour. This engine was also the derivative father of the Model 401s. While it is believed that Ares was never considered by the Department of Defense to go into production, the flying machine gun performed well during testing. Then, near the end of the millennium, Ares was put in storage, where it remained for almost a decade until it was repaired to work as a flying testbed. And although the aircraft still exists, the pint-sized jet has undergone several extreme modifications. Mystery tests. Only 18 months after its initial flight in April of 2019, Scaled Composites Model 401 flew from the company's headquarters in Mojave, California, to the Naval Air Station Patuxent River in Maryland, the United States Navy's premier aerospace testbed. The cross-country flight proved that the aircraft had matured enough to begin its testing phase in the prestigious base. On the day of the flight, project engineer Aaron Casebeer stated, quote, "Scaled is at the forefront of experimental aircraft development, and I am fortunate enough to have a front row seat. We had a great flight, and we're looking forward to the future test program." Since then, the two model aircraft have taken part in many strange tests in different test beds that only add to the mystery of the Sons of Ares project. In June of 2020, the aircraft flew over and near the United States Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake Range Complex in the Mojave Desert, joined by a NASA-owned F-15D Eagle carrying a large pod and a Scaled Composites Proteus endurance aircraft, Model 401. According to plane trackers and local observers, the Sons of Ares aircraft flew together on separate flights, with a KC-10 nearby to provide fuel for the NASA aircraft. Not a week later, one of the mysterious Model 401 Sons of Ares jets was spotted flying while covered in reflective mirror material. While the photos do not reveal if the aircraft is covered in mirrors on both sides, the materials only made the already alien-looking plane more exotic. Experts have tried to deduce the reason behind the mirrors, and one of them points to supporting laser testing. Still, it could be possible that the aforementioned pod hanging under the accompanying aircraft might be a camera to record the reflection of secretive laser systems with mirrors. Flying with Dad. In December of 2020, the Ares jet, now over 30 years old, was spotted flying alongside its successors, the Phobos and Deimos 401 models. In addition to sporting a reflective, metallic-like surface coating, the Ares jet also had other modifications, including antennas on its lower fuselage and a radio direction finder antenna on its spine. These modifications, as well as the coating, may confirm that the 401 aircraft are involved in testing exercises related to aircraft signatures against a secret sensor system. More importantly, there's a chance Ares could even become a grandfather. In September of 2021, Northrop Grumman, the owner of Scaled Composites, unveiled their newest aircraft design, Model 437. An unmanned aircraft derived from the stealthy Model 401, the aircraft is intended to work in teams with manned platforms. This design seems to prove that whatever the technology on the Model 401 is, it is proving to be highly effective with the Scaled Composites team. And when the customer behind the aircraft is revealed, it will undoubtedly provide plenty of answers about the technological breakthrough. Thank you for watching Dark Tech. Please let us know your thoughts on the Sons of Ares aircraft in the comment section below, and share this video with someone who might like it. Also, for more historical and technology content, subscribe to this and all the channels in our Dark Documentaries family. Stay tuned.